Hey everyone, what's up? This is my Money in the Bank live Money in the Bank streaming preview, basically previewing Money in the Bank for tomorrow. Um, that being, of course, June 18th, 2018. It is SmackDown Live's Money in the Bank. And to say that, well, say this is going to be a unique Money in the Bank event. It's the first under any of the brands. Like I said, it's the first under any of the brands, and it's also a very historic one as well because of the fact that um, basically you have uh, you have a women's first ever Money in the Bank match. Now, this is something that a lot of fans have been waiting for quite some time because uh, they've always felt that the WWE had the women, they just didn't ever want to take the chance. And ever since this whole women's revolution thing came into play, I think now they're finally taking that opportunity, they're taking that chance, and I think it's going to pay off for them in the long run. I really do. But when you look at this card for Money in the Bank, and there might be a match I might miss out on, I do apologize. But when you take a look at this card, this is could be a very strong, if not positive, pay-per-view. Let's take a look at the matches in particular. Let's take a look at the women's championship match because if it's Money in the Bank, you can't have a women's Money in the Bank ladder match without a women's championship match with the possibility that you might have a cash in after that match. So here we have the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. It's Naomi against Lana. And a lot of people have been criticizing, what has Lana done? And the fact that she's being presented as possibly the next Sable or the next Eva Marie or the next Emelina. Because remember, Emma was supposed to take this gimmick and she didn't want it, obviously. So uh, Lana ended up getting it. And now the question is, what is Lana going to do with this opportunity? And I think a lot of people have a right to criticize the choice, even though this past Tuesday on SmackDown, Lana showed that she has some surprises up her sleeve. Uh, when I think she did a twisting power bomb to Naomi or something like that. So she has a few tricks up her sleeve. The only question is she going to pull more out of her hat and out of her sleeve come Sunday or come tomorrow night? And I would have to say that she's going to have to do that to succeed. She really is. Uh, to me, there's no doubt in my mind she's got to have to pull out all the stops to basically show that she's capable of hanging with someone like Naomi. Now, already people are predicting this could be not the best of matches that the women's division has had overall across both brands. But we'll just have to wait and see. Uh, the way I look at it is a lot of people, from David Hero to probably OTR Central, Chase Oliver, a lot of people are pretty much saying that Lana is going to win. And I agree with that sentiment. I really do. But I don't see Lana becoming champion. I see her winning, but by countout. Not by disqualification, but by countout. And the reason I say this is because I see Lana getting frustrated that, yes, she won, but then finding out she didn't win the championship, and then taking that frustration out on Naomi, leaving Naomi prone for a possible cash in of whoever becomes the first Miss Money in the Bank. So I see Lana winning, but I don't see her winning the championship. I don't. Uh, Now, as far as the other matches go, let's take a look at the tag team title match, the Usos and the New Day. A lot of people are kind of up and down about this. A lot of people like the new gimmick, the new direction the Usos are going in, and people still love the New Day, no matter what you do with them, no matter what brands you put them on. People still like them. So, what do you do in a predicament like that? When you got fans that are high on this new direction for the Usos, and you got people that still love the New Day. It's quite simple. You do what you come up with the best decision you can come up with. For me, honestly, if I'm WWE, I go out and I go out and I say, hmm, what do I do that'll get people talking? Or what are the matchups, the future matchups that people want? And I know for instance, a lot of fans want to see New Day and American Alpha. They would love to see that. So my prediction is you have to have the New Day go over. You have to have them go over. You can't have them come in and not go over, look and not show that you basically can't have them come to a new brand and not make them look strong right off the bat. You have to make them look strong. I know a lot of people will say that the money is in the chase. David Hero has said that. David Hero has said that. Um, and again, I have nothing against that. I really don't. I don't have nothing against that theory. Uh, but if I was to go in a direction of putting somebody over, I'd have the Usos put over New Day, and then you build to a rematch between the two, maybe on a SmackDown Live, maybe on the season, maybe on the following SmackDown Live, not the post Money in the Bank one, but mostly maybe a week later or something. But I build to that, and I build to it to the point that in the end, in the end, um, I use basically this rivalry to build to a fatal four-way tag team match at SummerSlam, and this is where everybody's going to get what they want because you'll still have a rematch in a sense with the Usos and the New Day at SummerSlam, despite them having a rematch on the week after Money in the Bank on SmackDown. But the way I would do this, I would have the New Day go over the Usos again, but then you play American Alpha's music, and then you see American Alpha come out, and this sets up American Alpha and New Day rivalry. This would be what people want to see. You want New Day and the American Alpha to go at it, but then alongside that, you have the Hype Brothers come out at the same time. The Hype Bros, I should say, come out at the same time, and you have them basically clarify that in the match that Zack Ryder got injured in, you had that they well basically you have them clarify that yeah, Zack Ryder got injured in the Battle Royal in which they won and became number one contenders. So you basically clarify the fact that they already have a stake and have a legit claim to a championship match. Thus, you set this up, starting at Money in the Bank with New Day going over, having them going over the Usos the week later. You start building the foundation for a fatal four-way tag team match that people will actually want to see from the SmackDown side of things, with the New Day defending against the Usos, American Alpha, and the Hype Brothers or the Hype Bros. And that to me is fans. That to me is a matchup fans would love to see because then you can go from there. You can go from there, and you could build to American Alpha and New Day down the line at another SmackDown Live event. It's money. It's basically you're building the foundation for the a great tag team division. You're basically restructuring and rebuilding the foundation for your tag team division on your brand. And thus, if you're looking for brand supremacy, you're proving that you got not just the best storytelling and some of the best um, athletes on your brand, but you're also proving, hey, we got the best tag team division on our brand. So to me, in the end, that could work. And I think it will if the New Day goes over the Usos. Then you have Randy Orton against Jinder Mahal. Excuse me. I know a lot of people from David Hero to the Schleg Daddy at OTR Central, Chase Oliver, the WWE itself, Dave Meltzer. Everybody has pretty much said that the hero always, the hometown hero, the hometown favorite, heel or babyface, always has to lose in the hometown. There are a few occasions where that's not the case. And I believe this has got to be one of those occasions. I really do. I really think this has got to be one of those occasions where the hometown person has to go over. Here's why. Because putting the belt on Jinder is a great idea. It gets you publicity in India, which is one of the biggest populated countries in the world, if not the biggest. That's a great idea to have him as champion. But the timing is not right. You should have wait. Basically, if I'm WWE, I wait till I do a tour of India to have the belt on him. But anyway, I think this is one of those occasions where I believe the hero with a hometown hero, hometown boy, has to be the one that goes over. Why? Because it puts more heat on Jinder, and it actually puts more heat on the person that cashes in. If there's a potential cash in that night. Why does it put heat on Jinder? Because Jinder would be frustrated that he lost. He and the Singh brothers will beat down on Randy as Randy's getting up to celebrate, is trying to celebrate his 14th title win, and they basically beat him down into submission, to the point that after the beating's done, all of a sudden the Mr. Money in the Bank, the Mr. Money in the Bank's music hits, and out comes the Mr. Money in the Bank winner to do a cash in and walk out with the championship. So in a sense, it's kind of a win-win. You have Randy get his 14th title reign. Let him win in his hometown, which they're trying to build up as a classic wrestling town. And then in the end, and at the same time, you get more heat on Jinder for being frustrated and beating down on Randy because he lost. And then at the same time, it's a win-win because you have whoever your Money in the Bank winner is come out and cash in. And who will that be? We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I would have Randy go over only to have him be cashed in on by Mr. Money in the Bank after a beatdown by Jinder and the Singh brothers. It's money. It's money in the bank, if you will, if they go in this direction. Same with Naomi earlier. And now, speaking of Naomi, there's no doubt she and Lana, from a storyline perspective, will have a vestige interest in this matchup, in the women's Money in the Bank matchup. Because here we have Carmella, Charlotte, Natalya, Tamina, and Becky Lynch, and possibly, according to WWE's Twitter page, unless they took this down, and Pro Wrestling Unlimited, possibly a six participant. Because obviously it's only fair that you have 6 men, you got to have 6 women. But who would that 6th woman be? A lot of people think it could be Asuka because you've done as much as you can with her in NXT. Some feel it could be Summer Rae, and some feel it could be Paige. Paige has already said she's on the road to a comeback. It'd be quite a surprise to hear her music play out. We don't know who it could be. We'll have to find out. But even with that surprise element, possibly, who goes over in this matchup? Well, here's the thing. You have someone like David Hero on Be the Booker say that Carmella needs it. And I don't disagree with that. because from a storyline perspective, Carmella and James Ellsworth, if you keep them together, could definitely prove to be an annoying couple. Could be more of an in-your-face annoyance. Like you want to see Carmella to the point that you'll want to see Carmella cash in and fail, but she doesn't. But there's a possibility she won't. But anyway, you want to see that happen to that point, and it could work. They could rub it in Shane's face. They could rub it in Daniel Bryan's face. They could rub it in the fans' face. That they could cash in at any time, and Carmella could be champion. But I don't think Carmella's going to win it. I don't think Charlotte's going to win it either, even though a lot of people pretty much say that history, if you will, is on her side. She was the first, historically, she was the first women's champion when that championship was resurrected at WrestleMania 32, winning it in front of the largest crowd in WrestleMania history. She was in the first women's Hell in a Cell, the first women's Falls Count Anywhere, the first women's Iron Man match on the main roster. So historically, history is on Charlotte's side. So you would think Charlotte's going to be the one that walks out with the Money in the Bank briefcase, but that's not the case. Yeah, she's a clear favorite, but that's not going to be the case. Now you think, well, Tamina might do it. Tamina, hasn't really done anything, and she could definitely benefit from it. I'm not saying I don't have no problem with that either. Because you know what? If you want to have a champion that could get chased after, and no matter how much every woman does to her, they can't get the belt off her, and she's kind of dominant until another dominant female comes around and challenges her, Tamina fits that bill. There's no doubt about it. She fits the bill. You could say, well, what about Becky Lynch? Becky's another good choice. I mean, I have no problem with Becky. Becky, I believe, definitely could benefit from it, especially if she was to cash in on Naomi. Becky has come out and said she wants to go heel. This would be the perfect way of doing it. Have her go heel by cashing in on Naomi. That could work. It could be a win-win there. But the one I think that's going to get it is the one that basically has been focused on the most as being proactive about, hey, I'm the best there is, I'm the best there was, I'm the best there ever will be. I'm wrestling royalty. I've been here longer than all of you. I'm the leader. And of course, I'm talking about Natalya. And yes, I do believe Natalya is going to be the one that gets it. Here's why. One, you could have the welcoming committee, at least Tamina and Carmella, realize, wait a minute, this whole time, Natalya's not really been on our side. She's just been using us to get to that women's championship. And they could have that realization in the matchup itself. Another reason, from a storyline perspective, is that Natalya could become the first ever Miss Money in the Bank. And then, as I mentioned earlier, after Lana wins but doesn't win the championship and takes her frustration out on Naomi because of that, you can have Natalya's music hit. Natalya walks out with the briefcase, cashes in, and you would think, okay, she's going to go sharpshooter, right? She might just do that. But then again, she might just hit a DDT or something. But I definitely see Natalya being the one that is in such a desperate storyline wise. Is in such a desperate situation that she sees a pro Naomi. She cashes in. She finally gets her women's championship. So, to me, I look at Natalya as being the one to walk out as the first Miss Money in the Bank winner, or the first ever winner of the women. What I'm trying to say is, I see Natalya walking out as the first ever winner, or as the first ever Miss Money in the of the first ever women's Money in the Bank match, and I see her cashing in that night on Naomi. I really do. I see it happening. I see her either putting Naomi, who could be unconscious, in the sharpshooter. I could see her hitting maybe a DDT or some kind of Or remember, she has that natty by nature spinning clothesline. I could see her hitting Naomi with that and becoming champion. And again, this would play into the storyline that Natalia is not going to wait any longer. She's got the briefcase. She's going to do it that night, and she's going to walk out as the champion. So I see Natalia winning it, and I see Natalia cashing in on Naomi, if not Lana, if they put the belt on Lana. And I see Natalia becoming not only the first ever Miss Money in the Bank, but I see her walking out of the Money in the Bank at the SmackDown Women's Champion. I really do. Now, speaking of Money in the Bank matchups, we have the men's. We have AJ Styles, who I've met in person. We have Shinsuke Nakamura. We have Baron Corbin. We have Sami Zayn. We have Dolph Ziggler. And we have Kevin Owens. Now, who benefits from this? Who benefits from this? Well, you could say, well, it's got Owens written all over it. Owens is the kind of guy that just because you think, WWE may not be taking him seriously, just like last year when he became Universal Champion, it's going to happen. And that came out of nowhere. This, with him becoming, this, with him winning Money in the Bank, is going to be in that same situation. And that might work. That might work. And Kevin's the kind of guy that would cash in on either Randy or Jinder. Same with Baron Corbin. A lot of people say Baron Corbin needs it. And he would be the perfect guy to cash in on anybody. Doesn't matter if they're from India or from right there in St. Louis. He will do it. People would say, well, Sami Zayn could win it, and he could, but he'd be the kind of guy that would say, look, I'm not going to attack you. I'm going to tell you when this is going to happen and where. I'm going to be straight up about it. Same with AJ Styles. Same with Shinsuke Nakamura. Dolph Ziggler kind of falls into the category of he would be the kind of guy that would win the Money in the Bank briefcase for the second time and cash in that very night because he's desperate to be relevant again and be taken seriously. So, who wins overall? Well, if WWE wants to go an international route, there's no doubt they got to go with Shinsuke. He's on a roll, and you want to show the WWE Championship is the belt, the world championship that everybody wants. Then you got to go with Shinsuke feuding against someone like Jinder. That's got to be your matchup post SummerSlam. That's what it's got to be post SummerSlam if you plan to keep the belt on Jinder a little longer. However, as much as I like Shinsuke and everybody else does, and as much as I'm a fan of AJ's and I was glad to meet him and do a Q&A with him, I don't think it's going to be either one of them. I don't think it's going to be Dolph. I don't think it's going to be Sami as much as Sami needs it. I think Sami will be at that very top where you think he's going to, at the climax of the match, at the climax and closing of the match where you think he's going to win it, but he's going to get shoved off. And it's not going to be by Owens. Well, yeah, it will be by Owens, but guess what happens? Just when you think Owens is going to screw Sami out again, in comes Baron Corbin. And there's your winner. Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin, to me, is the one they're going to go with. He's going to get behind whatever other heel pushed off, whatever other babyface, whether it's Sami or AJ, getting pushed off by either Dolph or Kevin. I could see Baron being the one that gets in there and basically steals it away from everybody and walks out Mr. Money in the Bank. And I can see him doing it to Shinsuke. Shinsuke could be up there alone. Everybody thinks Shinsuke's going to win it. Everybody's erupting. In comes Baron, pulls him down, hits him in the end of days, climbs up. Everybody's sprawled out. Baron becomes Money in the Bank winner that way. And I see Baron Corbin being the kind of guy that not that night, possibly that night maybe, but I see him being the kind of guy that either that night will cash in on either Randy, if Randy's 14-time champion, or even Jinder. I could see that happening that night, or even the next, or even on the post SmackDown edition of on the post Money in the Bank edition of SmackDown. I see that happening. I just see it, and that's going to alter a lot of plans. because you think, well, they want to go John Cena, Jinder Mahal, and that's great. American guy against foreign evil foreign heel champion. We've seen it before. It works. It gets people behind the one guy that sometimes they're very mixed about. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is they're going to go Baron Corbin, and they're going to put the focus on Baron Corbin, John Cena. That's the direction they're going to go in. Because John's going to be the kind of guy that's going to stand up to someone like Baron and be like, look, and he's going to be like, look, man, I don't like the way you're treating people around here. You need to be taught some respect, and I'm just the guy to do it. I can see him doing that. I can even see him saying to Baron, you are most important. I can see him telling Baron that he's the kind of guy that's in desperate need of an attitude adjustment. I could see that. I could see that would work. And you would say, well, they've been in the ring before. Yes, they have. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. They've been in the ring before, but not on this big of a stage. And it would work, in my opinion. I really think it would work. As far as the kickoff show, I think the Hype Bros are going to go with the Colognes. So overall, that's my preview for Money in the Bank. Now, again, I don't know who the potential sixth woman could be in the women's Money in the Bank matchup. Everybody is hoping it's Asuka because, like I said, you've done so much with Asuka in NXT. It only makes sense for you to bring her up to the main roster. So I don't know. My prediction is if it's going to be anybody, it's got to be Summer Rae or it's got to be Paige. It's got to be one of them. But then again, they did interview, I think, Penton Royce on WWE.com about the women's division. So it might be Penton Royce. I keep an eye out for that. So overall, though, that's just my thoughts on the Money in the Bank for this Sunday. This is my preview of it and how I feel it may go, who I feel is going to come out on certain matches, and where it may lead towards. So that's really all I'm going to say, folks. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for tuning in to this live broadcast if you were watching. If not, there will be a link. If not, let me know what you guys think down below as you watch it later on, and I will talk to you all later.